So where should we go this summer? We could go to see my mother again in Boston. I've never been to Boston, but I wouldn't mind going.
But where would you really want to go, Sandy?
Debbie and James' father lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so we sometimes go there so the kids can be with him. Both Boston and Tulsa are good places. Boston is where the headquarters of the Unitarian Universalist Association is, while Tulsa has the largest UU church in terms of physical membership, with thousands of members. I am curious what a huge UU church is like. I like the intimacy of our UU fellowship with only a handful of members.
Then I will cast the deciding vote. Let us go to Tulsa.
Very well. I will call my mother and let her know. And I will call Rich, my ex-husband, and let him know too. So your parents are divorced? Well, at least you know who your father is and have seen him. My father is actually barred from seeing me until I am 18. Why? Is he a criminal or some other threat? No. My mother's just wanted to make sure he wouldn't try to sue for custody of me. That was a very real fear in those days, because of the issue of homophobia. Even now, there are many who claim that children should always have a father and a mother.
Our parents divorced when I was a baby and Debbie was only 4, and our mother has taken good care of us ever since, so those bigots can shove it.
But what caused the divorce, James? My mothers have always gotten along and I can't imagine them splitting up. I actually caught my father with another woman. I was so naive that I saw nothing wrong with what he was doing, until the next day when I mentioned it to my mother. She was furious and I felt terrible about it. But Mother assured me I had done the right thing by speaking up. The following year we moved from Tulsa to this town.
Father does pay child support to us, but he never comes here to see us. He always expects us to come back to Tulsa.
Well, Tulsa is a big city, so a small town like this would have little to offer him.
Oh, and seeing us would not be enough? Just like our mother alone wasn't enough for him?
It sounds like you are still angry at your father. Do you not want to see him?
I guess I am apathetic about the matter. I just know he shouldn't have cheated on my mom.
I and the Sims couple have agreed to go to Tulsa.
Okay, but I am surprised. I was expecting us to go to Boston.
It doesn't matter to me where we go as long as we have fun together. Lighten up, James. James and Debbie, your father should be here to pick you up. That way, you may spend time with him.
As you wish. Oh, there he is.
Hello. Thanks for bringing them, Sandy.
You two go and have fun with your father. I will return to pick you up tomorrow morning.
Isn't this amazing, Carrie? This looks like the inside of a real Egyptian temple.
Speaking of Egypt, I was reading on the internet about that country in ancient times. As important as the enslavement of the ancient Jews by the Egyptians was supposed to be, and then the exodus of those Jews, Bible scholars have no exact time for when that happened.
Maybe that's because they didn't keep very good records about those events.
Actually, the only historical records of the enslavement and exodus at all are in the Bible. Those events are never mentioned anywhere else, not even in Egyptian records.
That's strange. Are you suggesting the Exodus never happened? If that turns out to be the case, it would invalidate all the monotheistic religions descended from ancient Judaism.
Maybe something did happen, but we can't know for sure.
James, your mother says you are still angry about the breakup of our marriage.
Well, there just seemed to be no good reason for it. Wasn't Mother always good to you?
Even the best of people can find themselves incompatible. Your mother and I had different priorities in life. I am a big sports fan, and she hates sports, for example. Eventually, I found someone else I could relate to better and started seeing her instead. When you get older, you will start dating, and you may find difficulties in your own relationships. You shouldn't expect to marry and spend the rest of your life with your first girlfriend. Debbie, can you order for us?
We want 3 hamburgers, 2 Dr. Peppers and 1 orange soda, 1 order of onion rings and 2 orders of fries.
That will be $16.30.
Do you take credit cards?
Yes. Your food will be ready in 10 minutes. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had suddenly found religion.
You mean the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship she and her friends founded? Yeah, that shocked me too. I don't bother with that. That's more my sister's doing. I prefer to sleep late on Sunday mornings.
Interesting. I remember as a child being forced by my parents into church every Sunday. I grew to hate it so much that at 18 I ditched religion completely. One of the things I liked about your mother was that she seemed to hate religion as much as I did.
I and my best friend Carrie did get into fights over religion with our own teacher, Miss Jenkins.
What happened?
She was teaching lessons from the Bible as if she was in her own church's Sunday school. Eventually, we sued the school over that. The lessons were finally stopped.
Good. As long as your mother is not forcing you to be religious, I'm cool with whatever you and she are doing.
Mother always asks me to come with her and Debbie, but she never forces me to go. I guess some people do need religion in their lives. I don't.
I myself find comfort, pleasure, and usefulness in being part of a community dedicated to doing good in the world.
Your order is ready.
Happy birthday, sweetheart. It's amazing, watching you grow up to be such a strong and beautiful young lady. Only because you were a strong and beautiful queen first, Mother.
Attention all patrons. For the next hour, all non-alcoholic drinks are on the house.
I'd like a bottle of Pepsi, please.
Will you accept Coke instead?
Sure. So when is Carrie's birthday? It's actually next week, June 22nd. I'm thinking next year we should celebrate Debbie and Carrie's birthday together. Well, there's no reason why we can't celebrate it right now.
It's really sad that as a Jehovah's Witness, I wasn't allowed to celebrate my birthday, because it was considered a pagan practice.
So many rules and orders imposed from above. I sometimes wonder why cults like yours or the Mormons, or hell, even the Roman Catholic Church are so damn popular. Don't people want to be free?
I guess fear of eternal damnation is a powerful motivator.
I guess coming here was a great idea after all. Father does have a great place to hang out. I just wish this place could be just for kids and their parents.
Me too. Really? But then it would not make as much money. A place of business like this can only survive if it's profitable.
Yeah. Capitalism 101.
Sandy, I know I messed things up between us, but I've been trying to be a better man ever since. I even have a new fiancée.
Oh. What is she like?
She is very different from you. She was raised in a cult that practiced a doctrine called quiverful, in which women are expected to have as many kids as they can afford to raise. She got pregnant at age 16, and her parents forced her and the baby's father to marry. By the time she was 25, she had 5 kids. Then she read about what happened to Andrea Yates, and knew she was trapped like Yates was, and she wasn't willing to kill her own kids and go to prison to free herself from sexual and reproductive slavery.
Oh, that's horrible. Another victim of religious brainwashing.
Then she met me and realized that her life needed to change. I helped her get away from her abusive husband, and he is now in jail after beating her. She still believes in God, but not in any religion anymore.
I'd like to meet her and her kids so I can see if they would be good for Debbie and James to deal with.
No problem. Jessica, could you and Lucy watch over Debbie and James for the next few hours? Sandy and I will be going now.
Sure. Good luck, Sandy.
Welcome to my home. Mary, this is Sandy, my ex-wife.
It's nice to meet you. Rich told me about how he rescued you from a cult. I wouldn't call it a cult. It was a standard Southern Baptist church, but the pastor had some really sexist teachings. You have 5 kids? Yes. There are 4 girls and a boy. The oldest just turned 11, the youngest is 2. Unless you count the one I am pregnant with now. He is due in 4 months.
I am surprised you would want more children after having so many.
Oh, I am certainly stopping after this one is born. I just felt Rich deserves to have one child of his own with me. He talks about his children with you all the time, so he clearly loves being a father.
So what did you think of her?
She seems painfully young, Rich. Even younger than I was when we first met.
She is actually 27. I know. Half my age. But she has been forced to grow up a lot faster than most. And we are happy together.
Then I wish you the best of luck. I'm afraid you will need it.
Trigger warning, this video includes explicit descriptions and references to extreme violence. Do not watch if you are easily traumatized.
Mother, what's wrong? You look like your whole world has been destroyed. Pretty damn close. I just got a shocking report from the Tulsa police. Your father has been murdered. What? But we were just with him last month. Yes. According to the police report, he was shot to death by the ex-husband of Mary, the woman your father was going to marry. The bastard then went on to shoot his ex-wife and all 5 of their children, and then when the police arrived, he shot 2 cops as well, causing them to kill him. Why would he do such a horrible thing? Who knows? Maybe he felt that if he couldn't have Mary, no one could. Didn't you say that the ex-husband was in jail? He was, but he got released. And someone gave him a handgun soon after that, and he used it to wipe out an entire family. I can somewhat understand hating an ex-wife, but your own children? It's obvious why these mass shootings keep happening. Guns being bought and sold everywhere. I know. Too many people think having guns makes you safe from others with guns, but that's a lie. It's like drinking more alcohol to treat cirrhosis of the liver.
So what happens now, Mom?
We will be returning to Tulsa to attend your father's funeral, and that of Mary and her 5 children.
And the unborn brother of mine, of course.
In a way, we are lucky. No one died after our parents were divorced. Our father loved us enough to let us and our mother go, James.
You are right, Debbie. I resented his cheating on my mother and thus breaking up their marriage so much that I didn't appreciate the good man he was trying to be. And Mother, I promise you, to the end of my life, I will never take you, my sister, or anyone else I love in my life for granted. Clearly, I've been too damn selfish in my life. I will certainly start attending the UU fellowship services. It seems I need some religion after all.
You were always a good boy, James, and I didn't think less of you for not coming with your sister and me to the services. Jessica told me everything. If you need anything, just ask. Actually, I'd like to ask a favor. Could you and Jessica keep Debbie and James while I go to Tulsa alone? I think the funeral of not only their father, but of his fiancée and her 5 children would be too painful for them to deal with. Sure. I can stay here and watch over your kids. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for being here with me. When you talked about losing your own mother a few months ago, I didn't take it that seriously. I'm sorry. It's okay, it's often hard for people to understand the pain of a loss until it happens to you. Oh, my God, another mass shooting. In Texas not far from here. It seems no one is safe from being slaughtered. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you like, but I believe the reason we keep having so many mass shootings domestically is because when we Americans get involved in World War III and literally millions of American troops start coming home in body bags, people won't care anymore. The military-industrial complex will have won. Morbid, but credible,
The end. Always remember that every victim of a mass shooting was someone else's loved one and that every such incident damages all of us. Our tolerance for such outrages and our making excuses for such events in the name of a right to bear arms is a moral failing of planetary proportions.